protection here to stay. On your path the truth unfolds, guides will whisper stories told. Let your journey now begin, in the magic let's dive in. So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the Terran's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos I find my place. In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Lunar affinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another live stream. Let's get this started with some free yes no questions for you guys. Pure hearts. Let's see what we've got for you. Yes, the Justice card for pure hearts. I feel like this person wants things to be under the circumstances of being fair and honest and truthful and balanced. Nat. Yes, Four of Wands. Green Palace. Yes, Three of Wands. Benita. No, Eight of Cups. Layla. Your appeal, Layla. Is this a legal issue? I don't answer legal questions. They're things that have to do with contracts. Preachy. No, Five of Cups. Margaret, Two of Pentacles. So, this is that there's potential here for that to happen, but it's not official, so I can't give you an exact answer right now. That's a maybe for me. Three Doves. Yes, Ten of Pentacles. Nat, Pure Heart, you're welcome. So Layla, I'm gonna have you rephrase. I'm so sorry. I don't answer financial questions. If you take a look at my disclaimer in my chat, I don't answer like financial, legal, contracts, things like that. I also have a disclaimer in the chat. So I like to stay away from those kinds of questions, okay? No worries, no worries. But if you still want to ask a different kind of question, feel free to drop it in the chat because we're still answering free questions. It can be a different question, Layla, as long as it doesn't have to do with the appeal. You can ask a question still. Please make sure if you're dropping a yes no question in the chat that you are also liking the live stream. The amount of questions that have been dropped surpass the likes on the live. You can just consider that quote unquote payment for your free question is liking the live stream, okay? One question per person. All right, this is for Melody. Layla. Okay, thank you. Melody. Yes, I have the Six of Cups. Chelsea. No, Ten of Swords. Sienna. High Priestess. Seven of Wands. Three of Swords. I think you're gonna I think it's gonna be more of the same, Sienna, or harder than what it is now. So that's a no for me. This is for Unique. I think she hopes for the best for you. High Priestess, King of Cups, and Two of Swords. I think she hopes for the best. But she is being observant right now. She's being watchful right now. She's kind of in a fork in the road. Okay. So I can say yes, but I can also not say no either. I think she's kind of in the middle right now, on the fence about you. Layla. Yes, Two of Cups. Also, happy birthday. Shirley, I only answer yes or no questions for free. If you want that question answered, you can donate, okay? You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. All right, Shirley. Shirley's going to be my last free of the night. Donations are open. Shirley, I'm going to have to say no right now. I have the Four of Swords. So this indicates like he's a bit quiet this week. However, I am getting a lot of thought about you, okay? He's maybe in a place where he's trying to figure out, what his next steps are going to be. So this could change. He could change his mind as he's thinking about you this week. But from the energy that I currently have right now, I'm going to say no just because he has not decided to do that yet. You're welcome. It looks like we got a donation for a mini reading on PayPal. So if that is you, please check in with me. Hey there. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. You posted your question on PayPal, so I would have probably just went ahead and did your reading in the next few minutes if you didn't check in. But I saw for the amount that you sent, I can do a mini reading for you. How does that sound? Perfect. Okay. Let me go ahead and get started. Let me grab my deck and we'll get shuffling here for you. Give me just a second. All right, you have someone that I'll say he, if it's not a he, you can correct me. But I feel like you have someone here. He is having romantic intentions towards you. The Two of Cups talks a lot about um, feeling like he wants to be your partner or that he's exploring a potential romantic connection, something serious, something like a relationship with you. That there are a lot of feelings and physical attraction that are involved here. And his intentions are to continue to explore this on a romantic level. I also have the Eight of Pentacles, which means that he is willing to put in the work or put in the efforts to pursue you and get to know you further. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which means that he feels like this is almost meant to be, or this is a divine connection. Maybe he feels like this is divinely blessed, or even a type of connection with you that he feels like his family would be proud of, or his friends would be proud for him. It seems like he has a lot of good intentions. I think honestly, this would like lead potentially for him towards marriage. Okay. No, I think he is. I'm not picking up that he has anyone else. In this reading, there's no third party energy or anything like that. He is looking at you as a serious option. Like he basically wants to see this through. And oh, he proposed to you. Okay. I feel like he is serious, Priyanka. I feel like you can take him seriously because I have the marriage card here, the Four of Wands. Yeah, I don't think you need to. I don't know. I'm not I don't have any third party energy, okay? You declined his offer, you declined his proposal. Well, he's heartbroken. I have the Three of Swords here. Will he propose again? Not on his own. Not on his own. If there are people in his life, like family, that can influence him to try again, it might take a team effort. It might take a group effort. It might take some convincing from family and or friends. I think that he was very serious in his offer, and he seems disappointed or heartbroken. Three of Swords. So I think that he could potentially propose again, but he's not going to do this on his own. It's going to take some persuasion from the people in your life. I believe that is correct, Priyanka. Yes, I believe he will be in no contact with you. Now, if someone could persuade him, explain your side of things, tell him that you thought that he had someone else or he was interested in someone else, and that maybe you didn't take his offer seriously, they may be able to persuade him into proposing to you again. But I think he's very hurt by this. Yeah. So that's what I have for you, Priyanka. No contact for 2 weeks. Yeah, I think he's pretty hurt. He's a little wounded. I think it hurt his pride for you to say no to him. You're welcome, Priyanka. If you're still interested in him, you can always try to fix this and apologize. Or if you have any friends or family that can speak on your behalf and see if maybe he would be open to hearing you out, that is an option, but that's your choice. Yeah, it might take some time. I'm sorry. Like I said, this is going to take more people, like a group effort, a team effort to try to fix this. So it might require other people getting involved to try to bring you back together. You're welcome. Thank you. Hey Nessa, how are you tonight? How much would a reading be? So I've got different prices in the description of this video. If you want just like a basic yes, no without any kind of elaboration, like I do with the free readings, it's $5. We also have mini readings. If you have a specific question in mind for $8, I'll pull up to 5 cards. And then if you want a little more elaboration, a little more in depth, I have $13 up to 10 card readings. And then if you're feeling spicy, if you wanted to ask 2 in-depth questions, I have a BOGO, like a buy one get one option, and that's 17. So let's just say you have 2 questions you kind of want me to spend some time with you tonight, maybe 5-10 minutes of reading, then you might want to do the $17. And then the thing that I'm most known for is a first person channeling, which is where I use automatic writing and create and craft a channeled first person message for you. If you're wanting to know how someone feels and thinks, it's like a specific message from them to you. You can also add on to your reading channeled message cards, and then I have some love spread options as well. What's to come with you and someone? Okay, so we can do an $8 mini, or we can do a $13 in depth. So it just depends on how much time you want me to spend with you tonight on that question. Yeah, the BOGO is nice because it's almost like a 2-for-1, and you will get up to 10 cards per question. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. Got it. Okay, cool. So the first question is, what's to come with you and someone in mind? If you can just let me know who that person is. And then if you want to post, actually, if you want to post both questions now, feel free to do that. That's cool too. Okay, so what's to come between you and Alex? Okay. what's to come between Nessa and Alex? You guys seem to have kind of like this will they, won't they energy about your connection. This could be also classified as like an on again, off again situation, but it's definitely more of like a will they, won't they. I'm seeing like romantic pursuit. I'm seeing like taking genuine interest in each other, in wanting to explore the connection and potentially even be like in a relationship. This is definitely romantic for me. But the thing is I see like the 3 of Swords, so it's almost like there is like an air of disappointment surrounding the connection moving forward, meaning that it might be stunted in some way. I have the Hanged Man, so the energy of that is kind of like taking a minute. I feel like this does not progress very quickly moving forward. Maybe baby steps, if anything. I definitely see union or reunion or reconciliation. So if you guys are in a place right now where there's not much activity, or you're not really having much contact with one another, I see you guys coming back together. The problem is that I feel like there's hesitation or caution or some kind of reason as to why this really isn't getting off the ground. And that energy is carried forward into the future. So if you're wanting to know, like, am I seeing progress? Not really. I'm seeing a little bit more of the same. I definitely feel like there's some things that need to be communicated in order to shift this energy. Maybe being more upfront with how we're feeling. Maybe really putting things out there on the table and being very transparent with one another. If that has already happened, it may require some kind of ultimatum, make a move or I'm moving on, that kind of thing. But the energy is definitely like a will they, won't they. I feel like you have people either on his side or your side or both who are rooting for you guys, but I also can see how maybe there's disappointment that like things aren't really working out. There's just some kind of like sadness surrounding the connection and why it's not moving forward. You said, oh, distance. So he's going to be moving back closer to you in November. So it might just take some time for you guys to kind of resituate and recalibrate your connection. Again, I did see that reconciliation, like you guys coming back together, and that's the 6 of Cups. So maybe that is what happens in November because you said he's returning. But definitely needing to clear the air. I have the Judgment card here, and I feel like this is requiring like a very direct conversation. The Judgment card talks about like needing to provide clarity. I think there's been a lot of leniency on both sides, a lot of things that you guys let each other get away with because of the maybe sensitivity or the fragility of the connection due to the distance. So you may let him, like if, for instance, if you guys were in an official relationship, but you lived like closer together, right? there may be things that you might not let him get away with. And right now you might be giving him more flexibility than usual just because of the dynamic and the circumstances surrounding where you're at right now. You might be a little bit more lenient to accept or tolerate certain behaviors. Whereas if you guys were in a relationship and he was closer to you, there may be less that you would be willing to tolerate. So I'm feeling with the Judgment card, once you guys come back into union and reunite together, I think that you definitely have to kind of put things on the table and just be very direct with like your expectations, what you're looking for, what you're wanting, what you're hoping for. Because the Judgment card talks about clarity. It talks about, okay, we allowed that to happen because of those were the circumstances, but now things have changed, and maybe just being very open and honest about how you want to move forward. So I think what I'm picking up on is that there's a pull to one another. There's definitely a romantic connection here. Again, I see union, so maybe that happens in November. But because of the fact that decisions have not been officially made yet, conversations have not been had that need to be had, I think that that's why I'm still picking up a very up in the air energy. And the Hanged Man here doesn't necessarily indicate anything bad at all. It just means that we're not moving backwards, but we're not moving forwards either. We're just kind of in this limbo place at the moment. And when tarot comes in and you're asking for like a future understanding of what's to come, it can only tap into the energy of the current path and current trajectory. So really what Spirit is saying is that there is definite support and rooting for your connection, but this is a matter of free will also, in that it's going to require you to collaborate and like work together to figure this out. And so until that conversation happens and those decisions are made, this is kind of where we're at. And the only thing that I can feel for certain is that it's romantic. It is going to be, you're going to be reunited with this person. That conversations need to be very direct and just kind of get it all out there. The things maybe that you've been holding back or he's been holding back. When it comes to your connection, and just a little bit more directness. I do see here with the 7 of Wands that while you guys do face challenges, I think that it's very possible that you guys could overcome them. So it feels hopeful. It feels like you guys are heading in the right direction. I feel like it feels like it gets better. But that's about the extent of what I can tap into with these cards. Okay. Now, moving on to your next question, did you need a minute to think on that, or do you know what you wanted to ask? All right, I guess what's next boyfriend will be like. You don't know if you should ask that. I mean, if you're curious, you know, you can definitely ask that question for sure. I have an archetype deck that I can tap into along with tarot and see kind of personality traits and characteristics if that's something you're interested in. Okay, sure. Let's take a look. If looks come through, I can, but it's a separate reading for physical appearance because it does. I have like a specific tarot like spread that I do for physical appearance. So that would be something separate. But if physical appearance does come in, so it's not advertised, but it's $15, 15 for physical appearance. And I go through like hair color, skin complexion, eye color, even the physique, like are they leaner, are they athletic, are they like built, you know. I will tap into geographical location, or like maybe sometimes I can do like cultural background, like are they very similar to you in terms of upbringing and traditions and religion and culture, or are they different? I even can do height, and I think that is all that is included in that one. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But just keep that in your back pocket if it's something you ever want to do down the line. And I don't have to be live to get that information over to you. You can just message me on Instagram. And whenever I'm doing readings next, I can let you know. Because sometimes those can be like 24-hour turnarounds. And sometimes I can get them done that same night if I'm doing offline readings. But like I said, if anything about their physical appearance does come through in this reading, I promise I'll let you know. Hey, SB, how are you? All right, so I've got a very masculine type of person that's coming through. You have the queen archetype in reverse. So that indicates that he leaves room for you to be the queen or the princess. And he's just coming through with like very masculine energy. I think that he likes to be the leader. I think he likes to be in charge. He very likely will have a career where he's trying to work up the ranks to management, or he may find himself desiring a job where he's the one that's in charge, like he's the boss or whatever. I feel like he's in that position where he likes being able to be in control of the situation. I feel like he's an ideas guy. Not like he's necessarily controlling, but I think he likes the idea of the pride that comes along with being the boss or being the manager. Thank you, SB. IJ wanted to thank you for the in-depth the other day. You're very welcome. That was a lot of fun for me, IJ. I loved your question. You also have the prince archetype, so it's indicating that he is like Prince Charming. He has this romantic charm. And again, the prince is like the potential for power. So he's giving like Prince King energy, meaning that maybe when you meet him, he's not exactly where he wants to be financially or professionally, but it is something that he has drive and determination to do. And almost like he has this feeling of like, I will inherit a, a position of power, or maybe even feels like he might even come from like money, potentially, like his family might come from money. Don't quote me on that one. That one's not as strong of an energy, but it still could be there. But I feel like he is the type of person that just kind of walks through life feeling and trusting that everything is going to work out for him. I also feel like he's the type of person who likes to provide strength and support to others in crisis. He seems pretty selfless. He seems to be the kind of person that likes to help other people. This would indicate that, like, for example, everything that I've said so far, maybe a theme or a good career for him would be like a physical therapist or a counselor, or a even like a mental therapist, or someone who assists others in certain phases of their life, like bringing in maybe a doctor, or what am I trying to think? What else? Transitional types of careers where someone is trying to get from one side to the other. So this could be like a nurse, a doctor, hospice care. This could be someone who might want to help and assist, people entering the world or people leaving the world. Maybe even something off the wall like a realtor, because you're helping someone phase into a new period of life because they're buying a house and they're changing, like just essentially like some type of career where he's assisting someone get from point A to point B. It feels like and if he doesn't incorporate this into his career, you'll just notice that he's the type of person who really has good advice, really wants to help other people, really likes the idea of being the voice of reason, for the greater good. He's really good at improvisation, meaning that he can really think on his feet. He's very good at making lemonade out of lemons. He's very good at seeing the positive side of things, even if something seems like dull or hopeless. He's going to try to find the silver lining and bring empowerment into that. He's really good at just like figuring things out, solving things. So I feel like he has a really good mind. If, for example, if something is broken, he can improv fix that. So he might be able to jimmy rig something, or he might be really good at like putting things together, puzzles, furniture. He might like camping because that requires basically having survival techniques essentially. And I think he has a lot of humility and compassion as well, but he's also a very confident person. SB, I got your donations. I'll be with you after this, okay? I feel like he doesn't like to exclude other people. This is reminding me of like Libra energy. So if he's the type of person that has Libra heavy in his chart, or if he is a Libra, that might be confirmation for you. But I feel like regardless, he likes to treat other people very fair, and he likes to be independent and make his own money. I don't think he's like a moocher, if that makes sense. I don't think he's the type of person that relies on other people to make his life better. I feel like he's very caring. Let's see. And I feel like he does things selflessly, not for the the accolades, not for the reward, not for the image. He really just wants to help other people. So you're looking at someone who's fairly philanthropic. This also is a very minor energy, but it's important to say he might have a really good green thumb. Like he might work well in the garden or outside. He might like landscaping. He might really enjoy getting out there and cutting the grass, doing things outdoors. That might be like a minor thing that I'm picking up on for him. He likes his alone time. He's very, very smart. Like I keep picking up on that. He has a good mind. He has intelligence, book smarts, but maybe also even street smart. But he definitely likes his time alone. I'm kidding. So yeah, that is what I have, Nessa. So if that has any similar qualities to the person that you were asking about in the first reading, maybe you can take that as confirmation for yourself. But yeah, that is what I've got. It seems like a pretty decent fella. So let me know if that answers all of your questions. And if it does, then we'll move on to the next person. But if there was anything else you wanted to donate for, we can get started on that in just a second. He likes his time alone. Is that the only thing that resonated for you? That he likes his time alone? He's book smart, good with his hands, compassionate. Well, there you go. Oh, you're very welcome, Nessa. I hope you have a good rest of your night. You might notice, too, if as he grows and as he matures, and maybe when you see him again in November, maybe a little bit more of these qualities will start to resonate for you. All right. So next up I have SB. SB. Love Spread, Mini, and Mini. Okay. So Love Spread and 2 minis for you, SB. Thank you, IJ. You're gonna be after SB and we're getting started on her right now, okay? All right, girl. So, um, the overall energy feels like wanting to move forward with you, but wanting to also be like realistic or cautious or something. Um, for how he feels, I have the Ace of Cups. Okay. So this tells me that what he thinks of you, what he has felt for you since you guys have met, that has not changed. He still has attraction for you, he still has feelings for you, especially being the aces. It makes me feel like this is a, we'll call it a candle that is still lit. Okay. So there's no um I don't think the spark is gone, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think you guys still have that from his perspective. His true intentions are the 7 of Pentacles, which tells me that he has interest in continuing to invest in this and continuing to see where this can go. What you want, we have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a very impulsive energy. You kind of like lead with your heart and your passion first before actually thinking things through. So maybe you're looking for more passion from him. You're looking for more like spontaneity. Maybe you're hoping he'll just like show up somewhere, or maybe not even him showing up, but like sending you flowers or doing some kind of grand gesture, just something to really like express his genuine interest for you. I think is more of what you're looking for. What he wants, we have the High Priestess. I think he is kind of like in this dipping my toe in the water mentality. He wish he had a crystal ball so he could see where this is going to go. I think you're dealing with a very cautious person. You said he has a serious job. I get it. Yes, I like some expression. Yeah, I feel like you're looking for him to like just do some kind of grand gesture for you. And he is the type of person who likes to exercise caution. He likes to know what's going to happen. He likes to know what comes next. He basically wants to see the future, essentially, to know. I do feel like you're like a ray of sun in his life. I think he thoroughly enjoys your company when he gets to have it, whether that's through communication or physical company, like in-person company is what I'm trying to say. He just genuinely has a lot of fun with you, and he likes talking to you. He likes communicating and bantering and all of the stuff that you guys have done. He enjoys that. What pulls you apart is the fact that it's very difficult for you guys to get on the same page. Three of Pentacles talks about collaboration. It talks about working with other people, working with another person to achieve a goal or achieve a plan. And so for you to say, like, it's hard to like sometimes link up, it's hard because your schedules are like not working together, I guess is the word I'm looking for. That does make it difficult. And that's really your challenge right now, is just finding a way for you both to be available and have time for each other at the same time. He said he's cuddly, like hanging out with him too. If he's very serious about his job, makes sense. That might just feel like he has to make that his priority. That's tough. That's tough. I feel like when someone's working nights, it's hard when you're in the dating phase. I've been there. It's not so bad when you live together, because you're going to see each other before they leave and when they come home. But when you're dating them, it's hard. I dated someone who had a completely opposite schedule as me, and we could only see each other on Sundays. And it was not easy. And that person that I dated, I ended up marrying him. But he lived an hour away. He worked nights, I worked days. I was up at 6 a.m. every single morning. And he didn't go into work until 6 o'clock at night. And he worked Sundays. So, like, basically all I had with him was like Sunday evenings into Monday mornings. And it was not easy. It is difficult. Now he did get time off and stuff like that. And sometimes they had him not working on a Sunday. So I got to see him on Saturday night into Monday morning. Um, but just all that to say, it's hard. And we did that for the first 2 years of our relationship. So I completely understand. But what I will say, if it's worth it, you guys will figure it out. Definitely, definitely. Um, Energy around the relationship we have is strength. So I think you guys have a very strong bond. You have influence over him that maybe you don't even realize that you do. For what's hidden, we have the Queen of Swords, which means kind of like what you want and what you say goes. So I definitely feel like your opinion and how you're feeling about things definitely makes an impact and affects him. And he definitely takes you into consideration when making those decisions. So the success of the relationship is Two of Swords. So I wish I could say right now what that energy was, a yes or a no. But it's kind of like you guys are just taking a stab in the dark, a shot in the dark. It feels like you guys are really just not sure how this is going to play out, but you're willing to try. You're willing to see this through. Oh, he's moving. Is that where the uncertainty and the caution is coming from? Your game, if he is. Yeah, you need a Three of Pentacles it up. You need to get a plan together, work together to make it happen. That's pretty much what we did, like I was like, okay, well, I work this day. He's like, I work this day. And I'm like, well, do you have a set schedule at your new job? And he's like, pretty much. I'm like, okay. So we just kind of looked at our schedules and looked where the holes were in them. And a lot of the times he would be able to be done with work on Saturday and have Sunday off. And Monday his job was closed. So we were just kind of like, okay, what about you come over Saturday nights? So I spent like my whole Saturday doing all my like weekend stuff because I was working full time. And then he came over that night and he stayed. And if his job is like inconsistent, you guys just kind of have to see where the holes are going to be so you guys can spend time together. But it's going to take both of you working together to make that happen. If he's not as committed or you're not as committed to this seeing one another, it's going to be hard to make it work. Oh, an hour flight? Oh no. Yeah, that's tough. That's real tough. All right, let's take a look at how he sees you. How does he see her? He feels like you wear your heart on your sleeve. He feels like you are how do I put this? I feel like he sees that you have like a soft interior and it might take a minute to get to that interior. You're like Tootsie Pop, is that what it is? You're like a hard candy shell, but soft on the inside. Like, but he feels like even if he feels like you're very sensitive too. Like I almost feel like he sees that it's very easy to see that there's like more inside of you that's more sensitive, more soft, more emotional, but you come across as someone who's tough and resilient and strong, and maybe you are both, but for whatever reason he feels like he can see through to that center. And he's like, I don't think she wants people to see that softer side right away, but I clocked it immediately, is kind of what he's saying. He'll be here for a week to work in September. You think he'll come very soon, often, but you have the same faith, which you like. Good. Getting more into my face. I like that he is also. God, he knows I'm sensitive inside. Yes. Resilient. I'm a Capricorn rising. Yeah, so he's like, I see that part of her that maybe she doesn't necessarily want other people to see right away. I clocked it immediately. He feels like you like to laugh, you like to have a good time, you have a good sense of humor, and maybe you like to make other people laugh as well. And you're not scared to like laugh at yourself too. He doesn't see this like big ego or this huge sense of pride within you where you're like, if something happens, like for example, you're walking, you trip and fall. Okay. You're not going to be the person that gets like angry and pissed off that just happened and like super embarrassed. You might be like, whoa, that was embarrassing, but you'll laugh it off. Like you'll find a way to just find humor in it. And I think he really likes that quality about you. He feels that you are very creative. Now, that's a very like blanketed statement, but not everybody possesses the ability to be creative. So this could be that you're crafty, you're a really great interior designer, you have an amazing sense of fashion, you're artistic, you're musical, you're a dancer, you're like, just think of all the different ways in which someone could be creative. You fall into that category to him, in his opinion, that you're able to sense life beyond the five senses. So very intuitive as well. And maybe able to see things that other people don't see right away. And so maybe you're really good at reading other people, or maybe you have feelings about things before they actually happen. He's seeing you as someone who, you don't just base your reality off of what you can see, hear, touch, know, that kind of thing. You believe in something beyond and something greater than yourself. He sees you as someone who is very selective who they socialize with. You probably like to spend a lot of time alone, seeking solitude. You're also someone he feels like has come a long way in life, and you prioritize evolvement, you prioritize growth, you prioritize not being the same every single day and really just trying to work towards the greater self that you possess. He does feel like you can be potentially intimidating to people. Not like you're going out of your way to try to like intimidate other people, but you yourself might come across a little intimidating. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you're scary, but I like it, And I don't think you're necessarily intimidating or scary, but I think that you might have this like essence about you, or this air about you. You walk around with your head held high. You exude this level of confidence. This is not qualities that everyone possesses. And therefore, if they don't, they might be a little bit intimidated by that. But I also feel like you will stand up for other people. You will stand up for other people too. So you believe in justice. You're not going to stand by and like let someone else bully someone else, for example. You're going to stand up for that person and speak up and be the voice for people who don't have the voice. He really doesn't think you're afraid of much. He thinks you're great at socializing as well, and very empathetic and very self-aware. So that is what I have for that question. You said you heard this, that you're the intimidation part. Yeah. Oh, you're tall. Okay. You do look straight and walk fast when you walk. Well, that's good, because I heard that serial killers don't like that. So you just keep being intimidating. Yeah. He definitely admires you and sees like a lot of really great qualities for sure. All right, so mini reading intentions. Let's see what we've got here. Is there any long-term intention, please? Yes or no? He says he's not going anywhere. He's got the Emperor card here. I just saw the Lovers. And I saw the Page of Swords. So I feel like he's like in this ideas phase. We have the Emperor and the King of Wands, where he's really wanting to strategize. I truly don't think that he's ready to let this connection go, like, at all. And I think with the Page of Swords, he's looking for that opportunity to see what could happen between you guys before he tries to shut this down. Now, I feel like it might have been like a week or two ago. I felt like he said, okay. I felt like he was kind of getting cold feet, but I almost feel like something is shifting. Something is turning around. And like, cause for a minute there, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I was almost feeling like he like was like, I can't give more to this connection. And I think maybe he just felt like he was starting off in the negative, or he was setting himself up for failure, or he was letting his fear get the best of him. But something feels a little different this week. It feels almost like while he's saying, I do have concerns, this girl is special to me and I am cautious, but at the same time, I'm not willing to like walk away. So he's now like going back to the drawing board, I think, and trying to see, what can we do? How can we work this out? How can we make this happen? So now he's in a phase of like strategy. And I think that means that he's feeling more hopeful about the connection. And I feel like with the Emperor, it's like he doesn't have plans to go anywhere, because the Emperor is very stable, very steady. That's the kind of energy where it's like, I'm unchanged, I'm unmoved. He did have cold feet, said something out of the blue, and you reminded him he needs to calm down. Does he have long-term intentions in his heart? Does he have long-term intentions in his heart? He's worried. He's worried about this not being something that will work out long-term. I think he really likes, oh my God, this guy, he really likes knowing what the hell is going to happen. I feel like he has a hard time following his intuition over his realism. He seems in his mind to be a very practical and realistic person. And I think that it gets the best of him. I would say if it all could work out, does he have intentions long term? So he's saying that if in a perfect world, his intentions are to make this long term. But what's happening is that what his heart wants, what he wants for this connection, which is a long-term connection, it's like getting overshadowed by his questioning, by his uncertainty. Okay, you want to donate for another one? So, man, he's really battling himself. This is what I think. This is what I think is going to happen. I think he's not going to call it off. I think he's going to make the move. I think he's going to see how things go with this. I think for him, he wants to do a trial period. He wants to test the waters. He wants to see how this is going to play out and what we can make happen. And I think that he wants to put this to the test. And I think he wants to just see how it plays out, because he has these very overarching fears that it's not going to, that he's going to really miss you, and it's going to be hard for him because he's going to feel separated from you, and it's going to feel hard because trying to maintain a connection like this can feel like a burden. It can weigh on you mentally, financially, even. And so, like, he's thinking more about these struggles or the stressors or the hardships that your connection will face, rather than saying it's going to work out, because he can't get to that point. So what I think he's going to do is, I think he's going to maintain connection, maintain communication. I think he's going to move. I think he's going to do a test or a trial run with this. I think he's going to see you again in September. And I think he's going to say, let's revisit this then and see how we're both feeling about it. How does he feel about you both having the same faith? Okay, let's see. That would be funny. You said, yeah, he's right. I'm just leaving things open, honestly, and not putting pressure on myself. Yeah, that'll be good. How does he feel about them both having the same faith? Oh my god, I have literally the religion card. I have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is, the way they explain it is essentially it's a card that is how you identify with other groups of people. And the Hierophant speaks to him feeling a kinship to you, like you're cut from the same cloth, like you are familiar to him, like you are a part of the group that he identifies with. The Hierophant, it symbolizes the almost like the companionship or the camaraderie that comes with similar upbringings or traditions or values. And so having the same faith brings him a level of comfort with you that he wouldn't be able to achieve with someone who didn't have that same faith. He feels very much at peace about this. He feels very good about it. I think it really is just like a check, like a checkbox. Like you've checked another thing off for him. When it comes to pursuing you, it's like a bonus for him. I don't know if he's the type of person that would not date someone if they were similar or different, or sorry, a different faith than them. He might not go that far, but I do think that it's a perk or a bonus that you guys are of the same faith. I think it brings about, in his opinion, a deeper and greater understanding of each other. It's showing him a little glimpse of maybe what the future could look like if you were to um, like need to solve a problem. Maybe you would lean on your faith. If you wanted to raise children, you guys wouldn't have that conflict because you guys aren't of different faiths. Future traditions and things like that, like those kinds of things would align. And he likes easy. He likes things that are not very resistant. So he likes the knowing that with you, that's never going to be an issue and that's not going to be a factor in this at all. I feel like he was surprised. I feel like you were more surprised than he was. And I don't know why. How did he feel about it? How did he feel about it? So I have the Wheel of Fortune, and this also speaks to him feeling like you guys are divinely blessed and that your connection was divinely blessed. When you share the same faith with someone, you feel almost like, especially if it's a rare or if it's something that you don't really come across very often, if it's the type of faith that like you know about, you hear about, but you don't really know many people with that faith, I feel like you feel almost like kismet, almost like meant to be, or that, God or your divine support brought you together. So it almost feels like fate or destiny or something like that in his eyes, that you guys were to cross paths and try to explore a romantic connection. And I think this makes him more inclined to pursue a long-term relationship with you. And I think it makes him more inclined to try to continue to invest in this and give effort to this connection, especially if you guys are working towards the intention of marriage down the line. Because if you want to get married and he wants to get married, and faith is a big factor in your connection, this makes him more like inclined to want to pursue you because of this. But I think that he feels closer to you because of it. I think that he feels like he doesn't have to monitor himself or kind of hold back if he wants. Like, for example, if you guys share the same faith, then he can bring up that faith without feeling like he's walking on eggshells. There are some relationships that they have completely different religions and things like that. And like even traditions can make it hard if you guys don't see eye to eye. I've seen many like Christian Jewish marriages, for example, and it's kind of hard for them to determine like which holiday we're going to celebrate and what we're going to do and try to fuse the two together. And are you going to convert or are you going to convert? Like, if that makes sense. And I feel like for him, and then also it's like walking on eggshells because you're kind of like, I don't want to say anything about my faith because that's not what my partner believes in. And I don't want them to feel pressured or forced into like having that kind of conversation with me. Whereas for him, with you, he feels like he can very casually bring it up if he wants to. And it's not going to be a point of like tension or conflict that potentially in other relationships it could be. So for him, again, he's looking at this very practically. But it's definitely a perk, a bonus, something extra, something that really makes him more inclined to continue to work this out with you. I do think he was surprised, like I said, for whatever reason, he wasn't as surprised as you were, but I do think that this was a very big plus or check in your box. And it makes him feel closer. It makes him feel more comfortable with you. And it makes him have more desire to see this through with you, because I think at the end of the day, you both are looking for a life partner. And I think that this makes him gravitate towards you even more. All right, IJ, let's take a look. You want to know how does your okay. So your question is, how does her grandmother No, sorry. Your question is, does her grandmother sorry. Does her grandmother know how you care about her? Okay, got it. Does she know? Does she know? Does she know? We're on the same page, friend. Don't worry. Does her grandmother know how he cares about her? You're welcome, SB. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, friend. Good seeing you. Does her grandmother know how she cares about her? Does her grandmother know? Yes. If we're talking about the one that has recently passed on, I feel like she does eventually. It's so hard to express, like, because I know time works differently over there. But I think there's a lot more focus right now on her transition into the afterlife and her focus on her family that she's left behind. Sorry, I got bumped out. That's kind of where the focus is. And now, in essence, as a whole, I do think that she knows or that she will. Like I said, time works a little different on over there. Okay. I don't know how, but It's just something that I just intrinsically know. So when I see the world here and I see like completion, I feel like there's something that she knows about you, that you have a strong connection with her. Um, and I think maybe she's even talked to her grandmother about you at one point. It's never been in depth. Um, but I think that I think that her grandmother knows about you. And I think that she knows that from like when she was living in her life with her. Um I do see with the wheel that this has to do with timing. What I would say, IJ, is that this is something that will eventually come into focus and something that she will see as she adapts into the afterlife. I think this is something that you'll start to feel maybe like a stronger presence the closer that you get to her. Okay? Not the grandma, but to the girl you're asking about. I think that the grandmother is going to be very, very closely tied to Nat. So if and when you start to feel the grandmother's presence more strongly, that would be your indication that the two of you are coming into union. Because I think that the grandmother hangs out around Nat. And I think that if you start feeling the grandmother's presence more strongly, that's kind of your confirmation that you guys are coming into union or that you have come into union. I noticed that the loved ones that come in through mediumships and just my experience and understanding, they typically hang around their loved ones. However, with this energy of this reading, later on down the line, that care that you have for her is going to come so much more into focus from her perspective. I think she's going to see that so much more. And like what I can say is, for example, we just did a mediumship reading the other day for my husband. And while I'm a part of the family and I am married into the family, and he's only had a couple readings in his lifetime, and I feel closer to his dad as he's passed on. Like I feel closer to him now than in life because he's been unfortunately gone longer than he was alive that I was in his life. And even with the mediumship reading, even knowing that we live together, we're married, and while I feel a strong connection to him, he's always coming through and speaking on his family. He's always coming through to speak about his kids. He's always coming through because that's where his guidance is going to be. Through his kids, through his grandkids and all of that. So I think, and this is kind of hard, I'm sorry, this is kind of hard for me to explain, but I feel like from her perspective, her focus is Nat. It will always be Nat. Her protection and her guidance and her just love will always be there. But as she processes her transition into the afterworld, and after she, I guess, acclimates, I guess you could say, I think she will, and as you and Nat start to get closer and closer, I think she will start to see that care that you have for her. But the thing is she doesn't really know you. So it's like, it's going to take some quote unquote time. I don't even know if time is the right word. It's just going to take more of something. You told Anne you're intentionally gentle with her. Aww. So, but at the same time though, IJ, I also want to differentiate between her grandmother and also her passed on loved ones, okay? Because her grandmother will likely join in these passed on loved ones, and then she will become like the spirit team that guides Nat. And so when we did that reading the other night and we talked about what her passed on, like her family and spirit feels about you, that is a collective feeling about you, okay? Which the grandmother will likely be a part of. But if we're talking about the grandmother separately, individually, it's more of as you and Nat get closer, she will start to come through a little bit more in those readings, and she will start to speak more about how she sees how you care for her. But it's like she didn't know you very well. So, here's the thing. Her time on Earth was more recent, and she didn't know you either at all or very well in person. So all of her spiritual team that Nat has, all of her family and spirit that have been passed on for a lot longer, have had more time to observe your connection with her than the one that just recently passed away. And I think that's what I was trying to explain. So it's almost like they have gotten the front row seats of your connection, two of you, that the grandmother hasn't had yet, but will eventually get. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Boom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it will just be, she'll just have to see more of this the longer she's on the other side. Okay. Thank you so much for sticking with me while I was trying to complete that thought. It's very hard for me because I don't necessarily consider myself a medium. I do feel like I can tap into things because of my channeling ability, but again, I don't identify with mediumship, so for me, it's hard to always articulate things because I feel like I'm translating from another language. But I knew the sentiment or the feeling I was trying to express. And thank you for your patience because I think I got there. So yeah, I think if you were to even ask, in 3 months or 6 months, this question again, we would get more of that validation, more of that confirmation that you're looking for. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Thank you, IJ. Thank you for stopping in. Hey, girl. Sweet. Okay, so in-depth reading. Ooh. Okay, I am cracking up because I heard thirst trap and the very first card I was like, it's gonna be cups. I just know it's gonna be cups because of the expression. And Queen of Cups came through. Not only that, but she's got water all surrounding her. So that was definitely confirmation for me. Like, I definitely feel like he was like, okay, she knows what she's doing. We have the Six of Wands, so that's him feeling a little insecure about it. Because he's going, oh my god, she's gonna get the attention of so many people. I think in his mind he's thinking DM after DM after DM, likes, reactions, hearts, all that stuff. Like, I feel like in his mind he's going, great, damn, she looks good, but fuck, because with the Six of Wands, it's like literally public image, right? So it's like, what are you doing this for? Why are you posting this question? Who are you trying to like please or show off? Is this for you? Is this for someone else? Is this for me? Who's it for? And are you trying to get like something out of this? And I feel too, it's like now all eyes are on you. And I think for him specifically, oh my god, are you serious? So TM Finance exactly how it went, DMs after DMs. And I feel like he knows this, okay? So like now you're receiving from the public eye with these pictures. So, and maybe even from women too. Like, it might even not just be from guys. You're probably getting like support from women too. So for him, he's just like, everyone's going to give her a rose, like a symbolic rose. Like, everyone's going to be telling her how good she looks and da-da-da-da. And, it's almost like a feeling of conflict because it's been quiet. And maybe he's like, I wonder if she's going to post soon, because he's grasping. I feel like almost like he's checking your social media pretty often. And a lot of times when you're not in communication with someone, what they're posting is really all you get. So he might be like trying to just figure out what these posts mean. Is there anything going on in the background? Did you post a location? Like, what is happening? And just try to gain as much information as possible. And why is she doing this? So for him, there's excitement. There is excitement about it. Damn, she looks good. Simultaneously, I was kind of okay with her not posting anything because maybe he was thinking that, which is kind of stupid. It's just the way he's thinking. But maybe he thought that if you weren't posting anything, then you weren't going to get attention from other people. But that's not really true, right? Because you live your everyday life. You could be getting attention from people all over the place. You could be talking to someone else and stuff like that. So it's kind of like seeing that post, your heart kind of sinks because at first you're like, oh my God, she posted. Is she posting with someone? Is she tagging someone in this? What's going on in the picture? Damn, she looks good. What a thirst trap. Oh my God. Now she's going to have all these people messaging her. I think he's just all over the place with that. But I definitely feel like from his perspective, he thought you looked really good. For you to say it's such a regular pic that got so much attention, well, number one, it's the first post you've done in a while, from my understanding. I haven't seen it. I'm sure you look amazing, but number one, there's that. And then also, I think that you might be a little more self-critical because, like, for you to just be like, it was just a regular picture. I don't think other people perceive you that way. I think other people would really think that it's really, really good. It was on, or it was from Sunday. You were at a festival with a drink in your hand. Yeah, oh my God, look, he's trying to like Sherlock Holmes this shit. He's trying to see context clues. Like he's trying to figure out where the hell you were. Exactly. I get DMs even when I post random-ish. Girl, yes, I haven't posted an updated pic, and yes, I am self-critical. So you may think it's a regular pic, but other people are not thinking that at all. I have the star here. Okay. So this could indicate that the picture was taken at dusk or at night. Um, Potentially. I also see like hair down, dressed really nice, outside. This card just really looks like to me just very ethereal in general. Kind of like a cheeky picture, like you're kind of up to no good, you're having some fun. But yeah, I just feel like from his perspective, he just maybe went through like all emotions in that moment. He went from like curiosity to let me inspect this photo to where she at to damn she look good to now other people are gonna want to talk to her. I mean, then to jealousy. There was like a whole, I think, spectrum pretty much from his perspective. Partly happy to see something new from you, partly wanting to know why now. Yeah. And partly wanting to know like your motive behind it. Who are you trying to show off for? Is this for yourself? Is this for other people? Is this for a guy? Is this for him? Lamus, hello and welcome in. We are only doing donations right now, friend. It just feels like you've just grabbed the attention of many, many people from that picture. I've been feeling great, so I decided to post, and now I'm like, okay, I'll most likely be posting more often moving forward. Yeah, I think that's great. Post whenever you want to. I mean, I notice I post more pictures of myself if I'm single. As you should if you're single. But I go through those spurts too where I'm like posting a lot and then I'm not posting at all. And that's cool. Just do what you feel. Do what feels right in the moment. Yeah, you likely get him spiraling. I feel like you have him spiraling a little bit more than the average person. Um, and I think that comes from his lack of communication with you. I do feel like there's insecurity with him, which we've already touched on in the past, but I think that if he felt he was at least in communication with you, he would feel less insecure about it. Like if you guys were talking, and even if you weren't together, or even if you weren't even dating for that matter, but he still was communicating with you, he might have found out, beforehand, oh, what are you up to? Oh, I'm going to the festival. Okay, cool. Have like a good night. If he knew you were going to the festival, because you were communicating directly with him about it, though that picture wouldn't have caused such a response from him. You know, he probably would have just focused on how good you look and maybe liked it. But because he doesn't have that direct communication with him, it makes him feel very insecure about the connection. And so when he sees something like that, who is she with? Who is she hanging out with? Who did she go to the festival with? Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Is it friends? Is it family? You know, and his mind will just start racing because you guys don't have that line of dialogue right now. I'm like that when you post when you feel. Sometimes it's back to back, then others you go ghost. Yeah. It's too much to keep up with anyways. Like, you know, you might be feeling good for a couple weeks and then after that you're kind of like, I'm not too worried about it, you know. And also I think too, it's oddly enough, the more confident you get in yourself, the less you care about posting. But then sometimes it's just fun. It's just for the fun of it. So just do your thing. But yeah, that's kind of where he's at. It's just so funny to me because the 6 of Wands that I'm looking at is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 12 people in this picture. The energy of like 12 people surrounding you, clapping, cheering you on, being like, damn, you look so good. You know, like there's just all eyes on you. Now that Britney Spears song is coming to mind. Circus, that song Circus by Britney Spears is coming to mind. But yeah, I feel like he's just thinking that you're just getting a lot of attention and all eyes are on you. You're turning heads with this picture. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Have a good night. All right, friends. I'm gonna do a last call for donations. Our free list is closed. But if anybody wants to get a donation in the next few minutes, we'll do that. I probably won't be on for much longer. So speak now or you'll have to wait until next time. Have a good night, lovely. Hey girl, how are you? Good. It's hot where you live. Oh my gosh. It's well, I will say this week hasn't been too bad. Yeah, we're in like the 60s, 70s tonight. It looks like you sent for an in-depth reading. So I'm gonna make you my last of the night. Let me know what your question is, okay? Coming down mid 80s. It was 100 in the day. Oh my gosh. That would be like a pool or beach day for me, being that hot. In depth between Anthony and you, what are his current intentions? You're thinking the same thing. Why am I not at the beach? All right, let me grab my deck real quick and we'll get started. Anthony and Asen. Anthony and Asen. What are his current intentions and feelings? What are his current intentions and feelings? Lots of people are getting the Two of Cups tonight. Okay, so your reading starts off with the Five of Pentacles, and almost like he changes his mind. Like he wants to seek forgiveness from you, or seek kind of clarity from you, or provide clarity. It's kind of like he like detached himself, and now he's coming back in wanting to repair or heal the connection. What is the status of your connection right now? Same. We talk, no commitment, sick breakup. I mean, some days he's more present, some days busy. So the Five of Pentacles makes me feel like you guys are having some kind of disconnect. The Five of Pentacles is like the kind of energy like where you feel like you're on the outside of each other's life, and that either you or him or both of you aren't really involving one another in a bigger capacity. So some things that are going on with him you might find out not directly from him. It might be from your own research, for example, or he might be hearing about you. It's like even if you guys are in communication, it still feels like for whatever reason you're not being let in. So the Five of Pentacles illustrates someone who feels like they're lacking something in the relationship, and you can knock on that door, but that person's not really letting you in fully. And so that can kind of be a symbol or a metaphor for not really feeling like he's letting you in, not feeling like you're getting to the heart of him or the situation. You say you texted him and he responded, but it's been slow communication. So slow right now. I'm like, what am I missing? So with him, this almost feels like a cold time for your connection, but the very next card was Judgment. So this talks about kind of laying it out on the line, laying all your cards out on the table, him coming to you, asking you for understanding, for forgiveness, maybe providing clarity. There's this drive in him that happens, that he is intending to happen, where he provides information or healing or reparations for where he's been, which means that I do feel like you guys reconnect in the near future. That's his intention, is to reconnect with you. I think in the near future you guys will be spending some one-on-one time together. You guys might even go out on a date or spend some time with each other out and about. You texted him and he responded, but it's been slow communication. Oh, so slow. So I think I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something. And then I see with the Seven of Wands, it's like almost like an overcoming this little hump or this challenge. The Ace of Wands is like a spark, like a new spark that is ignited within your connection. And I feel like this comes from him, because the question is, what are his current intentions? And he's showing you guys frolicking and holding hands and going on a date. and having like this new spark in your relationship and overcoming a challenge and seeking forgiveness. So I feel like that's kind of the direction that he's heading. Maybe something happens where he just kind of snaps out of whatever this funk is that's going on between the two of you. You hang out and all, but you want that vulnerability from him. I'm seeing physical affection. Let's see. Does he have intentions of opening up in a vulnerable way? Does he have intentions of opening up in a vulnerable way? That might be that Five of Pentacles. That Five of Pentacles where you said you can't really get to the inside of him. You know what I mean? You can't reach that depth. I will say that he will open up to you in a more vulnerable way, but it's gonna take I'm either hearing that it only, the vulnerability is only until a certain point as of right now, or it's just going to take some more time for that, because from his intentions, I think that he wants to give to you more than what he has. So in that sense, you do see some of that vulnerability from him. Okay. But I think that doesn't come easy for him. And so he's not going to just, 180 it. He's not going to completely come across as like a completely different person. This will either take baby steps, or this is going to be something that he only feels comfortable, but to a certain extent, being vulnerable with you. Consistency is something that you're going to have to see play out. I feel like either a person has that capacity to show up consistently in a relationship, or they don't. And typically that's something that you find out in the very beginning. But if the tides are changing for him and something is shifting within him, I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't say it's impossible for him to show up consistently. You're just going to have to be the guinea pig and wait and see if that happens. I feel like he wants to work towards getting on better terms with you and being more straightforward with you and being more transparent about what kind of expectations he can give to you. And I think that he wants healing and resolution in your connection. And I think he wants to spend more time together. So I think that once you get him in that position where he's opening up and being a little more vulnerable, or showing a side to you that he has not shown, I think that would be a really good time for you to say to him, look, I want to manage my expectations when it comes to this connection. If you are looking for a committed relationship from me, I need to know. If you're not, I just need to know. If you just kind of want to see where this goes and you're open to a relationship down the line, I want to know. I just need to manage my expectations here. I'm not saying that I'm like gonna walk with any answer you give me, and I'm not saying I'm gonna stay. I'm just saying, like, I need to know where your head is at, so that way I can make a decision for myself what I want to do here. And I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm just trying to understand better for myself where your head is at. I definitely feel like that, because I feel like it's like his first serious relationship, so it's all new. but I don't want to bring up the communication because I feel if he hasn't said anything, then he must not be interested in being serious. I think you're going to see a shift in him with these cards that I pulled. I really do. The other side of that is what he does enough for you. Do you get what I mean? Because he can come forward and he can apologize and he can tell you where his head is at. But if it's not matching what you are looking for, then you will then have to determine, do I kind of see this through and let it play out? Or do I break ties with this connection because he's not where I'm at this point, and I don't want to spend more time on this. I feel like not even trying and texting, and now I'm like, is he gonna let it go and not put an effort? So yeah, I think with these cards there is a shift, and a lot of the times I don't have an answer like that, so I want you to just hear what I'm saying, and that I do feel like there is a shift that happens in your connection for the good, for something positive. But we have to remember that you have free will. You can make the decision that you want to make when it comes to this person. And if you're kind of like, I'm just over it, and no matter what he says, it's not going to change your minds, that's your prerogative. If you want to leave it open for him to come to you and talk to you and tell you how he's feeling and make a decision after that, that works too. But trust and believe, I've been in a relationship like that before where, I feel like the person wasn't putting in the effort that I needed from them. And, they tell me they love me and all this stuff after the fact. But I got to a point where I was like, you know what? We're not on the same page, and that's okay. And I don't hate you, but I'm looking for something that you're clearly not ready to give, and I got to move on with my life. Yeah, play it by ear to make your decision. There's no rule book that says you have to decide this right now. And then if you get to the point where you're like, nah, I don't have time for this anymore, then, that's understandable. But I don't make hasty decisions unless I feel fully committed to that plan. I don't like to make decisions. I don't like to be wishy-washy. No, I don't like to be wishy-washy. I like to be fully clear-headed and clear-minded, because once I decide, and that could be the Gemini in me, but once I decide, I am done. And I have to make sure that I've gotten this person out of my system, that I'm not going to keep going back and forth. And so what I will say to you, and the advice I'll leave with you, is if you are at all uncertain or you feel like you could waver on this decision after the fact, then you're just not ready, and it's okay, and you just need to mull it over a little longer. So that's what I've got for you, girl. I do have to run off. My husband is probably going to call me here in just a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out. But I do hope that this helped you, and I will see you next time. I hope you have a great night and it cools down where you're at. See you later.